Hey people. There I am. Hey Stefan. What else do we do here? Keycaster. Like that. And yeah, let me go ping the Discord. Cool. Oh dear, that did not all go down the right pipe. All right, we'll give like a minute or two for people to trickle in, and then we'll get started. In the meantime, cool. For those of you who didn't see, there's a new channel on the Discord under the lovely section here called syntax, where we've been talking about some syntax stuff. I haven't finished this yet with all the stuff we do have, but this comment at the top, which is pinned, so you can see it if you go to like pins, right? I'm just gonna keep, as we decide on syntax, I'll update this, right? And this already even has some stuff that we don't support, like that we're not actually lexing and parsing this stuff. Well, we're lexing but not parsing this kind of stuff yet. But so this syntax spec will get ahead of like what we've actually implemented. But just so you guys know, if you guys have thoughts about syntax and stuff, I thought I'd throw that out because that's kind of new. All right, let's get started. So yes, was that yesterday? I think it was yesterday, right? Set up snapshot testing, and so that's pretty awesome. So as far as today goes, I think it's just a matter of continuing with type checking more stuff. It's always more to type check, right? So yeah, like this kind of stuff. So variable decals, idents, functions, and function calls. These are all the other kinds of expressions. As soon as we're type checking all these, we're type checking everything that we have parsed, right? And so then I think we can start doing some code gen, unless we decided to add more syntax and then do code gen later. But I think it'd probably be fun to be actually able to compile some code. No? So let's see how far we can get through these 4 things. We might even be able to get all of these today. I'm not really sure what we're gonna run into. See, we're gonna get into some scoping issues once we start getting into like identifiers and stuff. So yeah, might get complicated, but we'll just see what happens. So variable decal. What's in a variable decal? A name, a value, whether or not it's mutable, and an optional type, right? Gotcha. Okay. And we need to do something with that here. Right? By the way, let me know, chat, if audio's bad or anything's weird on your end. I'm just kind of assuming it was, but sometimes it's not. So we have these things to work with, right? So we want to make a checked variable decal. So checked expression. So I'll put AST here, over here actually. So here's like expression kind, right? A variable decal is going to be something rather similar. It'll have a name. A value, whether or not it's mutable. So it doesn't really need this type anymore, because that kind of becomes irrelevant, right? Because we're gonna have a type ID associated with it now. So, oh well, actually, no, we do need a type, because this is the type of the identifier that gets created, whereas the type ID would be the type of the expression, which is gonna be void, right? Okay. Interesting. Okay, so type. So this should be a type ID, probably. And the expression here becomes a checked expression. Okay. So now we just need to go implement this. I don't think it'll be too bad, but I'm not really sure yet. So we need to how to do this. So yeah, so that like expression, do that. I don't know what it's thinking I'm doing with this, but say none for now. Right, so this checks the expression. We don't need this. So we have an expression. This type, so somehow we need to map, this type comes through as that, right? We need to map this to a type ID, right? But it kind of depends on the scope. So how are we doing with scopes? Scope types. The scope type, so they are associated with a scope ID, right? And how are we initializing it? These scope type with scope is 0, which is the global scope. Gotcha. Okay, so and name is literally just a string. That's probably not quite powerful enough for the future, because we're gonna have generics and stuff, but that's fine for now. Okay, so for the time being, we'll just run with that. So I'm just gonna make a function. Okay. Where's the scope live? Scopes. Hello, Nightmare. How are you making this? Any tutorials? No, I'm not following. Well, I mean, I've read some books in the past, but I'm not like following any tutorials for this. Just kind of trying to figure it out. Okay, so scope. Scope is where is the scope type defined? Oh, it's over here. And where do these live on the checker? Okay, so the checker needs to have a like a lookup. Oh, we have a lookup type. Oh, look, I already made this. Okay, that's great. So we'll just look up the type then. This right now only has identifier types, right? Okay. That's cool. I wonder if that's a good name. Identifier? That's probably fine. Stream froze. Just audio or just video or audio too? Can you hear me? Just video. This has been happening more often. Okay, just a second. I need to look into that. Cool, and then do that, this, this. All right, how are we doing? This good? Cool. All right, sorry about that. Not sure why that happens sometimes. You making your own programming language? Yeah, I'm trying to. Giving it a shot. All right, yeah, that's probably fine. Okay, so we have a type in here. So the type will be ooh. Something like this, right? Okay, and we'll do that, and then we'll say some Does that work? Yeah. So this is a string. Perfect. So this, if there's no type here, then there's no type hint, right? It can be anything. What do you have to know to create a programming language? there's some good books out there. I couldn't tell you like exactly what you want to know, but you should be maybe familiar with like the concepts of like lexing and parsing and stuff. There's Thorsten Ball has a great book called Writing an Interpreter in Go that helped me a lot. Bob Nystrom also has Crafting Interpreters, which is great. Okay, wait. So type hint should be, if you do have one, then it'd be self.lookup type name becomes type name scope ID. Ooh. Let's do the global scope for now. But wait, this is. How do we know what scope we're in? How do we know what scope we're in? So we need some sort of like cur scope probably, right? Right? Why are you bouncing? I'm on a yoga ball. I'm like the Primogen. Let me know if that's distracting. I can go to my chair, but the yoga ball is nice. Yeah, it's super nice. I love it. Makes me sit up straight. Okay, so I need some sort of like a concept of like a current scope, right? So new piece of state maybe sitting on our checker. I don't know, cur scope. There's a scope ID. And then when we initiate it, we'll have like cur scope should be the global scope, right? When you start. And then, yeesh. Do we have a create scope? Remember using that though? I'm never using that. Okay, so we do have a create scope. Nothing we've parsed yet creates a new scope. So we don't really need to worry about that, but we do need to maybe pass that. Look up type in self.cur scope. That should do the trick. Okay, cool. So now we have an expr. So this is the right side. Oops. This guy. That's the secret, is a yoga ball. Well, I don't know about that. You've seen hard programming languages, but what is this? Like, what language am I writing right now? This is Rust. Or what am I making? This is Rust. All right, so that's cool. And then we have the cur scope. Oh yeah, if can also be expression. Good point, good point, good point. Shoink. Very good point. Thank you. Hold on. Oh, it's because I'm doing this. Silly me. And then I don't need that. Okay. That's good, right? Hey, I see. How can anyone read that? I mean, when you get used to it, it's pretty straightforward, I feel like. How's type checking going? It's going good. It's fun. I enjoy it. So yeah, this is the expression, the right side. Maybe I should call this like R value, right? R value. So this is the R value, and then that's kind of all there is to it, right? So now we just assign it. How far have I gotten? When were you last on? I mean, I just started this stream like 20 minutes ago, but I'm type checking. So like I'm type checking just like a unit, just literal, bool literals, int literals, which is pretty like trivial. But then prefix operators, infix operators, which is a little bit more fun because you have to like make sure the types are right on either side and stuff like that. And I'm just now doing variable declarations. So just all the different kinds of expressions I have, because everything is an expression. So yeah, as far as like shadowing and stuff goes, this is gonna be interesting. Okay, well, it'll be fine. We'll get there when we get there. Gotta make sure the infix left-hand side and right-hand side are the same type, and then if it's a quality comparison, they create booleans. Exactly, that's what I've done up here. So, for example, like plus, minus, divide, and multiply, take an int and make an int. Comparison takes an int and makes a bool, and then equal or not equal can take anything. You just have to make sure the left type and the right type are equal, and they make a bool. Like that. Yeah, it's really interesting. Where do I work? I work, like where physically do I work? I work from home. This is home, in my bedroom. I do everything out of my bedroom. And I do this streaming stuff, and I also work at a company called Gertrude. Gertrude. What if you try to add something that isn't ints? Well, you'll get a type error. Do you want me to show you? You should get a type error. Because, like, if I plus... Oh, what if I want to add floats? Well, I need to get to that when I get to that, because I don't even have floats. There's no floats yet. But I generally punt stuff until I actually have to make it. So, but yeah, no, I thought about that. Good point. There's other stuff I could do. What like OCaml does, like the whole no operator overload thing, where like if you want to add floats, you do plus dot. It's like a different type. I probably won't do that, but I'll have to think of something. Because like equal already for me supports any type as long as the two types are equal. So it wouldn't be very hard to work in like just floats or ints, you know, for plus. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Anyway, so I have this R value which is now type checked. If we had a type hint, meaning if we had the type annotated in the variable declaration, then it makes sure that the value matches that type. Otherwise, it can be any type. It doesn't really matter, right? It'll infer it. So then here, I think we can just return like expression. Or what do we? A checked expression. No, wait, what's our this thing? Typed expression. That's what it is. Okay, typed expression. Typed expression is our little helper. Checked expression data. Oops. This should be variable decal. Why do I look up the type? Because from my AST, the only thing I get about the type is literally a string. It's like the name of the type. It's just like some identifier. And so I need to look that type up in, like, depending on the scope, right? Because it could be some named type. Not yet, but it could be in the future. So that's why I look it up. And I pass the scope. So it walks up the tree and the scope trying to find the type. So I can get a type ID from it basically just turns a string like type identifier into a type ID is what that does, the lookup's type. Variable decal, the name is just the name. Shouldn't you have a little check type name that returns a type ID then? Well, that's exactly what lookup type does. I guess I could have named it that. That might be a better name. I don't know. Hold on, what's the matter with this? Value becomes, what does value need to be? A checked expression, right? Value becomes, why is tab not working sometimes? Why does it do that? R value. Mutable is just mutable. Type. Type becomes R value dot type ID. Sum. It's not very clear what it does because eventually it won't just look up types. It'll fully type check the parsed type name. Yeah, like if it's a pointer to a type or whatever. Totally. I get what you mean. Yeah. Okay. What are you suggesting? Check type name. Check type name. There you have it. Yeah, no, I'm fully planning on making that function more powerful in the future, but right now I literally just have only identifiers. There's no like generic syntax, there's no reference slash pointer syntax, there's none of that. So it's pretty basic. So thread the stuff through. I'm getting some string that. Why is tab being so weird? Mutable. Alright, and then the span. Where do I get a span from? Where? Expert.span. Oh, it has a span. Perfect. Okay, and then res type. What in the world is res type? Oh, res type is void. So an entire variable declaration expression just is void or unit, right? So it'd be unit ID. Type hint is none. R value. Oh dear. Oops. What just happened? There we go. How's development going? It's going good, Hyperbanner. The function should probably not take in a stir with the actual type instead. But you could probably wait with that. Just gonna make your life a lot easier later when you actually add more types. Wait, the which function? The check type name? Oh, you're saying this should actually take a type. Oh, good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Good idea. So yeah, this should take a type. So the type should be type. But then for now, we're just gonna check let. It only has one case. Will Lovely just be an extended Rust or something completely new? It's gonna be completely new. I mean, it's definitely taking inspiration from a lot of Rust features, but it's gonna be a totally new language. Let. Oh, this is kind of good, actually, but this doesn't exist. Okay, that's kind of annoying. I have to do this when I know there's only one variant, but oh well. And then the name tag. Value partially moved here. What? Wait, what are you saying? I didn't even know you could do this. Ref name? That's super interesting. Okay, and then this just becomes that. No? This should take a reference, right? Oh, that's nice. Okay, we're happy, no? Okay. Hi, what is the plugin name for the displaying pressed buttons? Is it for NeoVim or an OBS? This thing down here, like where I can do that. That's like a Mac app. It's called Keycaster. It's this thing right here. Keycaster. Bro, Rustlang is only used for creating new programming language? No. Rust is a very popular language that's used for a lot of different things, but it's like at the end of the day, it's a low-level systems language. Cool. Can you prepare a group Discord page for YouTube channel you want to join? There's a Discord link in the description below the video. There already is a Discord server. So in theory, I'm thinking this should work. I'm a little bit okay. My brain is kind of confused about the type hint here. Like this could. No, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, it has to be. It has to be. It has to be. Wait. Yeah, okay, it doesn't need to type it. I just recently learned that Rust was written in OCaml out of all things. I just recently learned that too. It's really actually interesting, and it kind of makes sense. Once there's definitely, you can sort of smell the inspiration. What is, I don't remember how this method works. What does it actually do with the type hint? Oh, make sure that they're equal. Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. Oh, I don't need that. Perfect. All right, so there's variable decals. Now you guys want to see the fruits of all of our labors from yesterday's stream, setting up all that snapshot testing. I should be able to go into our tests, our source file. Oh, I see you're gonna like this too, because you do something like this too, don't you? So my tests are all just lovely files now. And then I'm automatically snapshot testing every stage of the compiler all the way through for both of them right here. And if I add a new one, it'll automatically test that one too. It just does everything for me automatically. It's pretty cool. So like for example, I'll add one here called variable decals.lovely. Here's a lovely file. I'm gonna say foo is 6, and I'm gonna say bar is 7. and I'm gonna say Baz is an int, it's a bool, and it is true. It's gonna be mutable. And I'm gonna say that is a unit, it's constant, and it's a unit. How about that? Pretty interesting. Oops. And then, yeah, we'll just, so this might, it kind of moves the order of the test cases around, so it might be a little messy, but it's okay. Did you already wrote the parser? I didn't even realize how far you were into this. Well, I'm kind of taking it bit by bit, and so yes, the lexer and the parser are working perfectly, but they're only working perfectly for like the small subset of the language that I've already parsed and lexed, right? So there's still a lot more I want to add to the language, but what I do have is, yes, already being lexed and parsed. Cargo Insta test review. Drink. So here's our new one. Here's our AST for that, right? So we got variable decal. Yes. Okay, what I really want to see is this. Here we go, the checked expression. So here's our checked expression. Okay, it's a variable decal, it's foo. It's being bound to an int literal. The type ID is 2, which is unit, perfect. It's not mutable, and it's a type ID. Yes, okay. That's good. And then, so we don't really, okay, we don't really need this field, do we? Because this would always just be the same as the type of the expression on the right side. Yeah, hold on. Hold out. Go back into here. Okay, so I don't actually want, change this type. I don't want this type. It's useless. It's not doing anything for me. I don't need that. I don't need that. Because this already has the type on it. The type's already here in the expression, so perfect. Now, oops. If we try this again. So now, by the way, I don't want to sound like smarter than I am. I have no clue how you write your own programming languages. This is absolutely beyond my pay grade. Just here to observe. Appreciate the humility, man. That's the operating system's called Humble, so you'd fit in. But no, you obviously know at least a decent chunk. So this is sort of beyond my pay grade too, if I'm being honest. Wait, okay, hold on. So this foo is not mutable. I feel like I should have the source code open on the other side, right? So can I do this? Okay. Oops. Go back up here. So foo, yeah, okay, here we go. So foo becomes immutable, which is good, and it becomes bound to an int literal, which is 6. Type ID is 2, which is unit, so the type of this whole entire thing is unit, which is perfect. That was good. And the next one is bar, which should be mutable, and it's bound to 7, perfect. And then we have Baz. Baz here is bound to a bool literal true, and it's mutable, perfect. And then we have that, and then that is bound to unit and has a type of unit. Perfect. That looks good to me, except, and then the tokens we already know works. Okay, perfect. So now if we cargo test, I accepted those. So we're passing. That looks great. So let's commit. get commit dash am type checking. What do we type check? Variable decals. Origin master. Joink. Okay. So then identifiers. Okay, so we're gonna need some sort of lookup ident, right? This is interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Because we need a way to know the type of these things. This is really interesting. Okay. An ident has a name, right? Which is just a string. Perfect. This becomes this. Not that. Sorry, okay. How to do this? How to do this? So probably, right, we have the types here, scope type. I try to have like a vec of scoped vars too, right? Yeah, probably, right? Right? Does that make sense? Okay, let's do that. Variables. It's a vec of scoped variable. So we should probably make this over in, don't have like a scopes here, perfect. Okay, so we have a scope, we have a scope type, we're gonna make a scope variable. So pub struct scoped variable. Yes, Godfrey, I'm making a language that I'm hoping to make an operating system in. It has a name, yes, and it has a scope. It's literally pretty much the same thing as a scope type. And then we'll do this. Joink, make a new one, perfect. Hey Robin, welcome. Godfrey says, good luck, bro. Thank you so much. I'll need it. Cool. Variables. How long have I been using Rust? About a year it's been since I started learning it. Little more. I started reading about it a little more than a year ago. Started writing it about a year ago. Okay, so now we have variables, which we should have to initialize. Okay, so we start off with some built-in types already defined for us, but we don't start out with any variables, right? So no variables are defined. Ooh, but that would maybe be where we stick in some built-in constants and stuff. Oh well. And then for my next trick, interested in Rust, we have a lack of patience. Yeah, it's pretty common, common thing. Variables. All right, so we have variables. Now, for my next trick, check type name. So now we're gonna do something called check variable name, which is gonna do the exact same thing. Check variable name. Why in the world isn't there a space there? Okay. Yeah, small steps, totally. Well, you might know this, but the Rust book is like, well, the Rust book, it's called the Rust programming language or something. It's right here. Oh dear. This thing is how I started. No, not this one. Sorry, this is the advanced one. Okay, it is also right here, but it's like at the bottom of a stack of books that's underneath my melodica. So it looks like that one though. They have like almost the same cover. The Rust programming language is great. That's how I started. And then there's some good resources out there. That guy John Jengset from like Norway or whatever, he's really smart. Has a bunch of good resources on Rust on YouTube. And then there's also this other guy, the Let's Get Rusty guy, that I found pretty helpful. And then yeah, I don't know. And then just writing a lot. Like I learned by doing way better than learning by reading, so or watching. So I kind of like learned like the bare minimum, and then I went and just started playing with it and figuring stuff out. That's what I'd recommend if you're getting into it. But I also haven't come super far yet. So am I employed? I am employed, sort of. All right, check a variable name. So this, instead of taking a type, just gonna take a var name maybe. I don't know. And this will just be a str, and just look for it in a scope. Okay, instead of returning a type ID. Okay, so we need a. Okay, so this we need like a variable ID. Perfect. Okay, and then this option type ID. So we don't need that. Curse scope. Okay, that's good. Some type ID self. Wait, self.types editor position. What? Type ID position scope dot position t scope. What is happening here? Oh boy, we're getting a phone call. I'm gonna pause this really quick. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. You followed a little bit the Rust book, the one that's available online, and some stuff goes hard, like lifetimes. Yeah, lifetimes are a little bit tricky. I generally try to avoid them if possible, but sometimes you end up needing them. And they're not really that bad, but sometimes they are. And even, I know, well, not that I'm like very good at this, but I definitely struggle with them myself too often. So, okay, remind me what's happening here. Oops. Type ID self. Okay, self.type. So this is not good. I want self.variables. Position scope ID equals scope ID and t.name. What is t? What's t? Scope. Okay. Dot name equals var name. That's good. Some type ID. Why do we want a type ID? What? Basically, they're understandable a bit, but on the other hand, I'm not sure I understand when I need them. Yeah, for me, and probably some Rust guru out there is going to tell me that this is ridiculous. I never introduce them unless like the compiler tells me I need to. It's kind of my philosophy, but I always kind of assume I won't need one, and then the borrow checker will say, "Hey, you need a lifetime here," and I'll be, "Oh yeah, that actually kind of makes sense," and then I'll throw one in. But not sure if that's the best way to go about it. I don't understand. What's the type I'm getting out here? Variables is it's an array of. How am I getting? Wait. This shouldn't be a type ID. This should be a variable ID. What is this foo? This doesn't make any sense. Variables is an array of vec of scoped variables. A scope variable has like a couple things on it, right? And then I'm finding the one where you got the right name and the right scope ID. So this should be a scoped variable. No? Scoped variables have a name and a scope ID. Was it hard for me to go from arrows to HJKL? Probably. First I used Vim motions in VS Code. And that was a long time ago. And so I've been using it for a long time now. It's probably been like 5, 6 years. Probably 6 years I've been doing Vim motions. So I don't really remember. Position returns size. The size of what? Oh, it returns the index. Oh. That's why. Oh, okay. Scope. Wait. Because these IDs end up just being indexes into like the array of variables, you know? Gotcha. So this returns the index, which is why I have a usize here. It's all just making sense now. Okay, and then here, if we have a parent ID, then we'll check, not the type name, but the variable name. We'll pass in the var name and the parent ID. And then those return none. Groovy. All right, that should do the trick. Now what do we do? Okay, so for create scope. So we need to check type name, check variable name. Let's make another one that's going to be similar to, okay, no, not really. Function add variable. Is this good? Variable ID would be the length. That's good. You push a scope variable with the name and to the recurse scope. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I like Copilot sometimes. All right, so here, whenever we define a variable, we need to push it into our scope. So we're gonna say self dot add variable. Var name is name. Wait, it doesn't even have any concept of its type, which seems a little bit funny. Maybe variables should hold on to a type, because I'm gonna need to get the type out of that thing down here. Okay, variables need to hold on to a type. No, seems like pretty basic facts. So scope variable holds onto a type. Pub type. I can't type. Pub. Oh dear. Pub type. Pub type. 1 second. Okay, sorry again. What are you guys saying? Simple table should have its type. Yeah. How was the first programming language created if there were no programming languages to program on? The hard way, just inputting raw bytes into the machine. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And then we've been slowly working up since then, right? So at some point they got to assembly. All right, so pub type is a type ID, right? Which we need to pull in from over here. Shoink. So now this is a type, type ID. So you kind of need to, yeah, you kind of need to give it a type ID, I guess. Like that. Okay, and then down here, add variable takes a var, so var name and var type, which is a type ID, and then you're gonna use var type. Just like that. Okay, add a variable. It's gonna be our value dot type ID. Perfect. Okay, this is lovely. Get it? And then, all right, now we're in here. And so here's what we can say. What can we say exactly? So ultimately we want to return one of these checked expression thingies. Okay, so self.typed expression. Self.typed expression. Hold on. This is no good. Hey Tez, is that your daily hello for me? Awesome. Okay, so we need to make a new thing down here. Like, oh, look at this. We already have ident. So ident, which is a string, and then it has a type ID. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Lovely, lovely. Okay. And then get rid of that. So res becomes a check expression data. What? Oh yeah, ident. Ident. Sometimes my brain just like freezes on me. Ident just has the name. Pretty sure that's all we need here. Span becomes expert.span. The type becomes, oh, we can't do this yet. We need to look this thing up. Okay. I forgot. Hi, I'm new in this stream, guys, and I don't understand. What are you doing in your programming language now? I'm working on the type checker. So making sure that things are, you know, the right types. So this needs to be a little, just, you know, tiny bit more complicated than I had it. So we're gonna say, wait, is there a type hint somewhere? Type hint. Oh, there's a type hint. Oh, that's what we passed to here. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Type hint. Oh, this should have been type hint. The type hint should have gone in here. My bad. Okay. Type hint goes in here. That's good. Okay. Then res type. Thanks. Sure. Glad you're on here. Res type. Yeah, that's what I need to get. So add this here, add this here, add this here, go down here. Let oh wait, hold on. This look up check variable name. This guy. We actually need a little bit more than a variable ID. We probably want like a variable ID and a type ID. That'd be nice. And we have variable ID, joink. Oh no. Oh, so we actually have to, you know, like return the thing. What do these types look like? Okay. We need to get Alright. Find. Schwank. Oops. Check that out. Let's go buddy, var name. And then is there a way to get the thing and its index at the same time? Here you go, AI. You know how dot position in Rust returns the index and dot find returns the thing? How can I get both? That seems like a common use case, no? Position method returns the indexes for find returns enumerate. You can enumerate the method. Enumerate it first. Ooh, this is good. This is good. That's what I wanted. There we go. And then here we're gonna say that. Precisely that. All right, next up, res type. So now let okay, so this needs to be a little more complicated. If let just like so. Ooh, do you think this ident should hold on to... Do you think it should hold on to its ident ID? Like its variable ID? That would probably make sense, right? Let's do that. Ident will have... be a little more complicated. Something more like name and variable ID would be variable ID. Right? Cool. Yeah, I wonder if maybe this should also variable decl should also hold on to a variable ID. I don't know. Maybe. You never know when you might need it. So you have some errors in places. That's okay. So variable decl. Wait, where is this? Ident. Oh yeah, variable decl. Add variable. This doesn't return. Oh, it returns a variable ID. Perfect. So now we have that on there, and then here. Oops. So if the thing exists, then... Oh dear. If the thing exists... What do we do? Wait, I gotta think about this for a second. We have a var ID. We have a var type. What is the type ID? right? Is that what it does? Yeah, okay. So we turn type extract as an ident. Okay, this got changed, right? So we have a name. Name is just name, or that. The variable ID becomes the var ID. Then we got the res type. What is the res type? The result type should be the var type, and then we check it against the type int. Perfect. Otherwise, we're gonna get an error, which is like a variable undefined error, right? I'm gonna add the to do because this might get complicated. I think this will work for basic situations, but deal with shadowing, right? Because it might not work if we try to shadow something. I'm not sure what happened exactly, but it's on our to-do list. So where's that other to-do down here? Oh yeah, so where's our error type? Type error, right? So this type error kind span. I feel like, okay, this should just be a generic error. And then this becomes error kind. Type mismatch becomes that. This becomes type mismatch, right? We have a new one, a new kind called variable not found name string. And then we'll have a, you know, something like that. Okay, so then down here, this means that we got nothing, right? And so we're gonna say, that. All right, should we try this? Shall we see if this actually works? First of all, did we break anything? We did. It's because we added some data to those snapshots. Let's do this. Pretty much, okay. This is so good. This Insta library like just blows me away. Look how good this is. This is amazing. So it's just adding, what is this? This is in checked. So it's adding variable IDs to all these decals, right? And you can tell it's counting out for 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's doing a good job. That's good. We'll accept that. So now we're good. Okay, that's exactly what I expected. Now, variable decals. So now let's add a new one. Idents. You know, so this is like if I make something, if I say, okay, if I want to make, you know, my bool be true. You know what I'm saying? I forgot that these don't syntax highlight. All right, I'm gonna say my, you know, or my bool, whatever. My num, oops, is, you know, 12. Now down here, if I reference my num, ooh, here's what I should do. I'm gonna do A, B. B is, you know, 9, 8, 9. I'm gonna say C is A plus B. How about that? And then down here I'll say C. This seems like a pretty good text. Hello, Subadera. How'd you get syntax highlighting in this? The syntax highlighting is very, very basic, but I wrote a tree sitter grammar for it. But it still needs a lot of work because it really doesn't look nice yet. But I can do stuff like foo, fun, and fun turns yellow, or that's not yellow, it's red. Like this kind of stuff in it. Kind of works, except for that's not the right syntax. You do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Like that. Alright, so let's try testing this thing. I'm gonna leave this open. And then I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to do cargo insta test review. Here we go. So first, what are we looking at here? This is the AST. So AST should be good because we're already, testing this stuff. The last one is expression statement. It's just an identifier. Just says C. Perfect. That looks good. Okay. This is the real magic here. A checked program. Okay, this is what I want to look through like step by step. Make sure it's really good. So all right, it's a checked expression statement, which is checked expression. Type ID is 2. That's a unit because a variable decal has a type of unit. Is that a compiler or an interpreter? My language is going to be compiled. We're writing a compiler, yeah. Okay, it's a variable decal. The name is A. The value, type ID is 0. So 0 is int. Yeah. And then data, interval 12. Perfect. It is mutable, and its variable ID is 0. Okay, now we do the same thing for B is something 9, which is an int. Variable ID is 1. Now here's the moment of truth. We make C is equal to, oh, this is where the magic is happening. It knows that this is an int because it has the type ID on it. Like the result of A plus B is also an int, okay? And the data, infix, the left, oh, it's totally working. Look at this. This is amazing. The left is an int, so that's why the 0 means here. That's A. The variable ID is 0. The variable ID for B is 1 because those were the IDs we got here. The definition for B gave a 1. The definition for A gave a 0. And so these are referencing the right variables in scope. And then this thing becomes mutable here. Now we're referencing variable ID 2, which is what we made here with the definition of C. So it's totally working. Kat says, you're very consistent. I'm proud. Thanks, Kat. Yeah, Hyper, you're right. Using an interpreter for low-level systems would be pretty crazy. Kat, yes, it's all coming together, Kat. The type checker is like working so far. Accept it. And then tokens we know work. Okay. That is crazy. Basically, it knows that C at this point is an int, which is like kind of nuts because it's not annotated here. It's not annotated here, right? It's only using the fact that it inferred that these were both ints. It knows that you added both of them together, so you got another int. So it knows that C is an int, and it knows down here that C is referencing this C, so it knows that this is an int, which is kind of nuts. I'm a kid and I already created a compiler, but I stopped because I prefer doing stuff like creating a GPU driver. That's awesome. What are the main features this beautiful, lovely language offers for building your operating system? The main features are that, it's got a nice name. And the other big one is that I made it myself. That's the main feature for me, is that I made it myself. But no, realistically, it's kind of just going to have a bunch of the things that I like from some other languages that I know. And also some new, maybe slightly more novel ideas, like the fact that every user-defined type is actually an enum, which is going to be interesting. What am I writing? I'm writing a yoga ball. Almost as crazy as writing a garbage collector for C. Oh, you mean they're writing an interpreter thing? Yeah. Garbage collector for C doesn't even make any sense. You need a yoga ball? Yeah, the Primogen is who inspired me. It's like, that looks like amazing. I already have I have a standing desk, which is great, but then sometimes it just feels good to sit, and then I want a yoga ball because I can bounce. See? Doink, doink, doink. Okay, so that's crazy. I can't believe this is working. This is like so satisfying. Git add dot git commit dash am. Type checking idents. Oh, I messed up. You can't do bangs. Cat, you weren't subscribed? I'm deeply hurt. The best language is C++ or Python. I'm pretty sure everybody on the Discord would put those at the bottom. Git push origin master. Yeah, that's a take and a half, exactly. Those are literally like famous for being annoying. Cool. This is lovely. Get the joke? I get it. I get it. So clever. Do we have our new changes here? Look at this now. That's what I like to see. Okay, so that was like a super cool stat. Fascinating. So now functions and function calls are like the last things we need to type check, and then everything's type checked. So all right, how does one type check a function? Yes, this will be interesting. So we need to basically we need to decide on some like syntax for functions because we don't even have like a return keyword. Sounds cursed? I feel like it doesn't sound actually all that bad. Shouldn't you check if a variable already exists when adding it to the array, or am I missing something? You should have instructions for compiling on the GH unless you don't compile it. What does that mean? No, K, you're right. I should check. That was that little to-do I made. That's like what I meant by shadowing. Because if I say something like, X is 5 or 8, and then I say again like X is 3, like this, depending on whether or not I allow shadowing, this would either be fine or it would be bad, So did I think about Hindley Milner more? I did a little bit, Robin. I feel like, oh, you missed the to-do. Okay, no worries. I thought a little bit about Hindley Milner. I think I'm gonna stick with this for now, but I'm very open to doing like big refactors in the future. So I don't know. I feel like this will be fine. Like I'm not totally sure. Like the main advantage I feel like of Hindley Milner is like you don't have to specify as many types as you would like in this language. I'll have to specify argument types and return types. You personally like explicit types. I know part of me really likes explicit types. The other part of me thinks like, okay, OCaml is so cool and like not having to say that, but it still is just as safe. But I kind of like being able to look at a function definition and see exactly what it accepts without having to like, shift K over the argument, you know what I'm saying? So, or whatever would be in VS Code or whatever you guys use. So, yeah, so I think I'm going to go with this for now, the explicit types. If later we decide, Hindley Milner will be cool, then we'll rewrite the entire type checker and it's, no big deal. Except it would be a big deal, but it's fine. What else are you guys saying? Kat says, because like when you compile some function, it sometimes can be a char and sometimes anything else when changing the case. Feels not natural. Yeah. Armand said, you can get the last statement from the function body to get the return type. Totally. But I need to make sure that there's no semicolon on that thing, that it's not discarded. So, function definition should always have types. Oh, I should put compilation instructions on GitHub. Yeah, eventually. There's not even like a CLI yet, so eventually there'll be a CLI that'll just probably be on crates.io, and then you guys can just like do cargo install lovely, and then run it from there. That'll be a lot easier probably than you guys having to build from source. Explicit types from functions are required in your language, but most other things will be inferred. Gotcha. I still really want to see your language, Robin. I'm waiting for that day when you open source it. Oh man, too much chat, too much chat. Awesome, hack with Siraj, we got the same goals. That's super cool. Kat, the only thing AI is good at is to make your README. That's not a bad idea. I've never thought about that. Yeah, I hope it's cool, Vimjin. It's time. Purely functional systems language. I'm feeling it. It's not going to be purely functional. And I don't even think that makes sense, a purely functional systems language. Although, I don't know. People make operating systems in OCaml, so. All right. So we need to type check functions, which means I need to decide about a few like syntactic things. So we haven't really talked much about this. Yeah, that is the joke. Vimijin. Okay. It's a typo, but you still want it to pronounce it the other way because you're not going to change it. Gotcha. So Vimijin. It's kind of like the Vimijin, which is what Prime calls himself right now. So let's talk about syntax. I've got this nice handy discussion thing for discussions like this. Functions. So if I have something like here's a, oh dear. I'm struggling. There we go. Okay. You think you can hear my Discord pings? Oh. No, you can't. Okay. Also, are you fine forking Lovely and trying to add stuff for fun? Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it for the purpose of submitting a PR, then I'm not accepting, or I'm highly discouraging PRs that are going to be adding more functionality and more language features, just because I kind of want to do that myself on stream so everybody can see it. If people want to make PRs with like performance fixes or like bug fixes or stuff like that, that's cool. I've already taken a couple of those, which have been great. But if you're just wanting to take it for yourself just to like run with it and do your own thing and not make a PR, that's totally fine. That's open source and that's what it's there for. So yeah, make your own language with my foundation. That's great. New to programming. You don't know much besides Basic C and Java. How long will it take me to be able to make stuff like you? Depends. Totally depends how much you're doing it, right? Like if you're spending a lot of time on it, I think you could be doing stuff like this within, I don't know, not very long. But if you're, it's kind of like a hobby on the side, then it might take you a little longer. You only plan on kind of just bug fixes or whatever. Oh yeah, then yeah, do that and send PRs. That'd be great. Vimijin. How much Rust and mathematics is needed to be able to make our own programming language? Not much math. I was a math major and I hardly use any of it. And you don't need to use Rust. You can use any language you want. You might try to port Lovely to Python. That would be really interesting. And the performance would just die. Most people just call you Vim. Okay, I'll call you Vim. I'm used to calling my editor Vim though. All right. Sorry, chat. I can't read you anymore. I'm wasting too much time. So functions here. If I have something like foo, or let's say like add as a fun right here. So we do to that, and then we call it down here, right? Add x to y. So if we have something like that, then budget, you're planning to do it full time. Well, if you're doing it full time, and especially if you're learning full time and not just using the stuff you've already learned full time, then I mean it depends how you learn. I could see it happening in like within a year, or I could see it happening within 5 years. I don't know. I haven't been doing this like a whole lot of time, but probably more like if you're doing it full time, I'd say like within a year you'll be pretty adept. All right, so here's what we're gonna decide. So let me rename this because this doesn't make any sense. If I make this like calc, and this doesn't make any sense either. I'll say like and y, and you calc x and y. Okay, whatever. And then say there's a bunch of steps up here. Like first we say, you know, foo is like x squared, you know, and then we say like bar is foo over y. And then we do bar times bar or something. All right, like this is a valid function. Do you plan to add support for making GUI apps in Lovely? Yes, GUI apps within humbleOS, right? Because humbleOS is really my only target. So, which is the one thing that's making me kind of want to do trailing closures, or trailing lambdas, you know. But oh well, we'll see what happens. So, you know what's a little bit funny is that there's actually nothing syntactically right now preventing me from doing something like that. How do you guys feel about that? And there's also nothing syntactically preventing me from doing this, which is why we need to have this conversation. Because it's kind of in a not so good state maybe right now. What do you guys think about that? What should we do about that? Because the way we think about this semantically is that a semicolon says like, okay, disregard this, right? Not like not don't run it, but like don't do anything with the value. Whereas if I leave the semicolon off, it's like Rust, like use this value and make it the return statement. So, I mean, I don't have much experience. You only know some basic HTML and Python. Gotcha. So let's do. So here's what we say: if we have a function, the function has a body. We just like look through here. We throw a type error if there's nothing at the end, unless the return is void. Here we go. I forgot to put the return type on here. Check what the return type is. Muted. I'm not muted, am I? Am I muted? Can you hear me? Never mind. Yeah, Cat was making stuff up. Cool. Okay. Hey Xavier, didn't know you were here. Yeah, so we'll just say, okay, we have a function body. We look through it. Unless the return type is void, right? Or unit. Sorry, it's called unit. Then we need to make sure that the last statement on the thing is not discarded. Okay? And then the return, we match up the type of the last expression statement against the return type. If they're happy, we're happy, and if they're sad, we're sad. Make sense? I think this will be pretty straightforward, all things considered. I think without semicolon will be better because what will you do if you have a function and you want the return will be the function what? And you want the return will be the function return? Could you maybe rephrase that? I don't get it. All right, let's give this a shot. I think this will be pretty straightforward. So function, what does the function have? Whoops. Something like that. Fill in struct fields. We got parameters, return type, and a body. That's perfect. Okay. Wait, hold on. There's a new chat. Hey, it's me again. I've got a Latvia and a Finland if you want them. Here they are. Sweet. I'm just collecting all these flags. This is fantastic. Hi, I'm here sporadically, but can't attend all the streams, not in their full length. For sure. No, I don't really expect anybody to do that. There's kind of a lot of them. But you support me mentally. Thank you so much. Nobody has donated a United Kingdom. It's a little bit sad. Alright, so we just need to work with what we got here. Well, we also need to create a new scope. Ooh, this is interesting. I have like an add scope, don't I? Add scope, scope, create scope, create scope. Here we go. So create scope creates a scope. Returns a scope ID actually. So cool, that's really cool actually. So we'll start by creating a new scope. No. Yes, okay. So in here we're gonna say to do, no? We're gonna say let new scope equals self.create scope. What is this optional usize? Oh, that's the parent scope, no? Create scope. Yeah, parent ID. Okay, gotcha. You like the idea of an explicit return keyword? Really, it makes it easier to parse. I don't know. It feels a little bit verbose. If I do, well, I probably will need that for returning out of like the middle of things. I'll have that, but it'll probably be ret, not return, just to keep it terse. Whoa, Xavier is a Belgian that lives in Brazil. That's cool. I was in a Brazilian airport once. That's it. Robin, are you in? Wait, what is that? That's not Germany, is it? Germany's got something else in it. Where is that next comment? Drawing this one. Okay. So we create a new scope. Pass the curse scope. It's Belgium. Oh, okay. So we got 2 Belgians. 2 Belgians in chat? What are the chances? Oh, Germany is vertical and Belgium is horizontal. Gotcha. Are the files for my Nevum set up public? Yep, they're on GitHub. Vin, I do like what you're saying, Vin. I think I'll keep it like kind of how Rust has it though. Red and yellow are also swapped. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. What? Another Belgian? You have 3 Belgium people? Look at general, says Cat. Here we go. Wait, what are you saying? You guys playing ping pong in Discord? Wait, hold on. First, what are you saying? How can you know if the function call is a return or a modifier, etc.? Wait, first plus second. Come again? Wait, what are you saying? This is a return. This is not a return. If it has a semicolon, it's not. It's like rest. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll just be like rest. But I get what you're saying there. Okay, so we create a new scope, and then we self.cur scope set to the new scope. So we create a new scope, we dive down into it. So now we're in a new scope, which is cool. Functions create a new scope, and then we need to add some variables to the scope. Those variables are the parameters. This is brilliant. Okay, so we're just going to add the function parameters as variables in this new scope. That kind of makes sense, does it? Doesn't it? What do we have as parameters? Okay, for parameter in parameters, param. That is what I said with my comment about return being without semicolon. Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, return is going to be without semicolon. Parameters and other local vars. Yeah, but local vars will just be defined with variable decal. But parameters get thrown in immediately. So we have parameters. What's on a parameter? Param dot. Oh, is it an enum? What is a function parameter? Function parameter is, yeah, it is, okay, because it can either be labeled or unlabeled at call site. Okay, so we just need to match on that. Match param joink. Get rid of that and get rid of that, and then pull these in. Okay. Gonna join the Discord? That'd be great. So these have internal and external names. We don't really need the external name. We have a type. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to okay, this is interesting. So if it's late, this basically is gonna do the same thing anyway. So right. So if it is internal name, okay, so we have like self dot add variable. Wait, does this do it in, like by default in the current scope? Yeah, it does it in the cur scope. Gotcha, in the cur scope. Okay. So that's good. Var name is internal name. Var type is that. You need to give a scope ID. We could do self.cur scope. Okay, hold on, because this might return an option. So we're gonna say if let sum okay, so if the type ID is legit, otherwise then that means we couldn't find a type. So we need like a variable. Let's have a type not found. Or maybe just hold on to a type. Something like that. All right, down here we'll say Oh, type does not. Internal name. Let's see, you ignore these things? Okay. We did that, and then pretty much do the same exact thing down here, right? Internal name, this becomes name. Isn't there some way to do this in one shot? That's kind of crazy that that actually worked. You guys see this? This is kind of nuts. Because I named this the same, it lets it through, and it's the same type. That's pretty cool. All right, so we add the parameters to the scope. So we create a new scope, add params as new variables in said scope, or local. We're using Zellage or Tmux. This is Zellage. Joink. Joink. And then says it down here. Zellage. All right, so there's that, and then body. So body. Okay, so we need to go through and any particular reason you chose it over Tmux? Configuration is easier and it looks nicer out of the box. And it also, I found it easier to use. It's also just like a more modern and actively developed option, I felt like. But yeah, I didn't really have any like big deal breakers with Tmux. But I do like Zellage. So we need to have a function thing down here, I realized. So let's go something kind of like a function. Parameter, Vecca function parameters. Do we need those? Oh, we kind of do need those, don't we? The default shortcuts conflict with your NeoVim shortcuts. Yeah, I had to move some of them around. What to do? What to do? Function, like, are we checking these function parameters? Because we should have type IDs now, I feel like. I feel like we should make our own checked function parameter. So return type becomes an option of a, well, it actually becomes definitely a type ID. Right? If there's nothing, it just is unit. This becomes checked expression statements. And then we make our own checked function parameter. You're too lazy to edit, relearn my config. Sure. Also, to write my own OS and write my own language is on pause. Gotcha. So let's make a, we're gonna need these. Enum, it's an enum, right? That's basically gonna be very similar to this. Then we label that call site, and then as internal name, type becomes a type ID, which is a type ID. Same here. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's what we get from a function. All right, now we're all set up. And we can what exactly? I'm gonna stand up. Delivered. Whoa. Don't you guys love it when you order something on Amazon and it was supposed to come like Monday and it comes, what is today? Is it Thursday? I ordered a pair of headphones yesterday. It was supposed to arrive Monday and it just arrived. That's crazy. I'm gonna go grab them off the porch real quick. I'll be right back. I got them. Probably should open those after stream, no? Okay. Just finished your CS degree a couple weeks ago. Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, building cool projects is kind of what motivates me too, so. All right, so we have the params as local variables. Although while we're here, maybe we should, because we have a checked function parameter. We should probably create those while we're at it. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna to do create checked function parameters while here. Okay, so we'll do that because we're gonna need those, and then we sort of just need to parse through or go through and check all the it's basically exactly the same process as checking a program, right? Checking a program, check program. Shoink. Why are these just unwrapped? Oh, because we're not doing anything with errors yet. Well, that's all right. We'll just panic with type errors for now. So I'll put that on the to do. Error. Oops. Error handling. Shrink. Okay, so something very much similar to this. Iter map collect. Okay, we'll do that. Iter map collect. Iter map collect. Let checked expert statements equal what do we have? Body. Iter dot map. Or can we map before we iter? Map. Iter dot map. Okay. There we go. It's getting late for you. I'll hit the bed. Good night. Also, what font is this? It's called Mona Space, I think. GitHub made it. Mona Space. It's actually like 5 fonts put together. I think I'm using 3 of them, maybe. So yeah, that's nice. We have these, except for, let's just unwrap these for now like we were before. So now we just have checked expression statements. Okay. So this is like check the body. And then I'm going to say let last statement equal that. Why is it turns an option? Or last. Okay, should the function be forced to have a body? Not necessarily, right? If it doesn't have a body, it just returns a unit. So okay, so I'll say if let sum. Well, no, I'll say let else. So now we have a last statement, right? In here, this would be if it was empty, check empty. Check empty function body only valid if return type is unit. Exactly. All right, we'll deal with that later. For now, we have a last statement. Last statement dot expr dot don't I? What is the type of this? Checked expression statement. This needs to have a discarded field. Hurry up. You can't just tell me that. Discarded, right? Discarded Needs to be a bool. And we need to pipe that through. There we go. Okay. So now it has a discarded. This, okay, so if last statement dot discarded, it's literally like almost exact same thing, right? Only valid if return type is unit. So there's those cases. Otherwise, we have a valid return type. We need to compare it against the return type. So we're going to say let return type ID equal, what do we have up here? We have a return type. So we can say self dot check type name. And the current scope is fine because it'll traverse up, right? So it's good. Return type. This is an option. Oh, so I'm going to say let return type. Wait, this is a type equal. Somebody just passed a message underneath my door. Be right back. You guys see this? Big tech is coming after me. Okay. So turn type. So we need to get yeah. Okay, gotcha. I want to turn that into if return let sum equals return type I need a body. What is self dot check type name type, or no, I'll do this. Tie else type okay. So, but this is basically saying like if you don't supply a return type, then we're gonna like implicitly switch that to your returning unit. So there's that, and then we'll look that thing up. So now we have a real return type ID, check type name. If we don't have a, so I'm gonna say let sum else. If we don't have that, so now we'll have a real type ID. I'm gonna say type not found. There's that. Well, I'm not sure if I want this span. It's probably not the right span. It's okay. India or Pakistan? What? There's that. Okay, so we have a return type. Now what do I do? Okay, so we have the last statement to check expression statement. Is now we need to check that the, okay, yeah. get return type. Okay, so yes. Expected got. No, these should be switched around, right? We expected return type ID, but we got this one, right? Expected that, got that. Perfect. Okay. That's pretty cool. Whom will I support? India or Pakistan? In what? Is there a war or a soccer game or something I don't know about? Okay. So now we verify that they match. And we can, maybe at this point we can return a typed expression. The result is a checked expression data function. Yes, in war. There's a war? India, Pakistan war. There's a brief armed conflict that began on May 7th. Looks like it's already over. I don't know anything about it, so I can't tell you who I'm supporting. Another war in the world. Okay, so function. Okay, what can I do here? So this becomes expert. I know this one, expert.span. This one becomes, can I make these into to-dos? Expected 4 arguments and found 3. Oh, whoops. Oh, this is actually the type hint. That's correct. And then we don't have any way of expressing function types, which is perhaps a problem. Function types. I just realized that. So, all right, but we should be able to put some of this together. Body. So we have. Don't we have checked expr statements? Yeah. Body should be checked expr statements. Oh, cool. That's happy. The return type is the return type ID, right? Cool, that's happy too. So it's really just the parameters we got to put together. That was that to-do I made up here. Create checked function parameters while adding them. So I'm going to say like let much checked params is a, I don't think I actually need this. And then I'll oh shucks, I do need to keep these separate. because I need to do this. So I'm going to say checked params.push checked checked. Is that right? Oh, external name, we need to keep that too. I don't really want to clone these. But I think I kind of have to, don't I? I'm literally trying to make a copy, so I think I have to there. And then the type ID. Perfect. And then we do the same thing here. Well, similar thing here. Here we'll do this. Cool. So we get those two. And then, so now we have those. We have checked params. And we can use that here for parameters. So now we just have to deal with the type of this thing. So So now we just have these scope types. A scope type literally just is a name. So types long term are going to be a lot more than a name. We need different kinds of types. So, all right, so we basically just need to beef this type up a little bit. A scoped type. I'm going to make a enum type kind, right? It can be just a, is that Everforest? This is indeed Everforest. If I make it like, what would you call it if it's just like just a name, like ident or something, or primitive? It's not necessarily primitive, probably primitive. Name. All right, I'll do name. IC says name. Name string, or it can be function type, which is different. Function type has parameters. No, this is a type. And this is a scope type as well. Kanagawa theme on top. You mean like you like that one the best? Or what do you mean by that? Parameters. Yeah, I think I tried that one once. Pub kind is just going to be a type kind. So that pretty much breaks everything. So I'm going to get rid of this new. This is recursive, so we need to box this. And now we're happy. Used to go capuchin. I used to also go capuchin. Rose pine is super good. I was rose pine for a while. Yep. Nord. I never really got into Nord. It's a little too blue. A little too blue. Blue hurts the eyes. I like warm colors. So yes, this isn't exactly gonna work. So we need to do. Well, I guess we could do. So box this up again. Call this named. And then we'll say like that. No, I'm not trying to build new. All right, and then here, this is a little different. Okay, this needs to get more complicated. I used to use Tokyo Night as well. I also used to use Tokyo Night. Man, I see you and I used to use all the same ones. I used to use Tokyo Night, and then I went to Rose Pine. I've done some other things in between. Now I'm doing Everforest. Oh, Capuchin too. Use Everforest too. Yeah, I've done the ones I've done the most: Tokyo Night, Capuchin, Rose Pine, and now Everforest. Those are the ones I've used for the most time. I've never really gave Kanagawa a very long chance. Which one do you use? This one or this one? Surely it's not that one. Darkest one, this one? Yeah, that looks pretty good. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. I could get into that. Yeah, nice on the eyes. That is nice. All right. So this needs to be. You wrote a paper in college about that painting? That's funny. All right. So maybe this check type name needs to be a little more tough. We don't even have a way to like annotate function types. Maybe we should decide on that. Your keyboard has that painting on it on the keys? No way, that's super cool. All right, we need to back up a little bit. So I realize we're almost to the point of type checking functions, but we literally don't even have a way to express function type. So I think we need to back up and talk about that for a second. We in agreement here, chat? Let's go to discussion. This is the place where we discuss. All right, if I have like, what's the type of calc? If I wanted to put a type in here, what would it look like? This is just a purely syntactic discussion. I see is an agreement. Perfect. So type of calc. You say something like fun, int. Yeah, because we definitely want it to kind of mimic. Yeah, this isn't too bad. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. You think it would work? Is it? It is easy to parse because of that keyword. How would that look if I had like a lovely num? If I had like some, and I had like you know, fn. It looked like not that. It looked like this. Does that look cool? I like how it looks a lot like the definition. What's my font? My font, it's called Monospace. This one. Somebody else just asked about it. GitHub made it fairly recently. You think this is awesome? I could get on board. So traditionally, it's something more like this. But I got a couple problems with this. One is my definitions don't have arrows, so it'd be weird if I had an arrow here. And two, this was gonna look like a tuple, and it'll be hard to parse. So maybe we should just go with this. You always like readability over cleverness. Yeah, this is pretty readable. It's a function that takes an int and gives you an int. All right, well, we need to go back a few steps and, you know, pipe this through the lexer. Well, it should already lex, right? This is just the fun keyword. And this, yeah. All right, so it'll already lex, but we need to parse it. Yeah, just parse then check. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So let's go jump into our parser mod. All right, so do we have like a parse type? Sure enough, we do. Where are we calling this thing? Oh. Can I do this? Microsoft did something awesome. Open for discussions, but probably not. What did Microsoft do that was awesome? What did Microsoft do that was awesome? Or self.peak kind equals fun, right? Okay, we're also using this parse type. Parse function expression, what is this? Right after right paren, I could return a function. Oh wait, quick question. This would mean that if I make a function that returns a function, it would go like this. That's maybe sort of ugly. Oh, you said the monospace font was awesome and GitHub is owned by Microsoft, correct. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. How do you guys feel about this? How often do you write functions that return functions? I mean, pretty often. Not all the time, but it definitely happens. Hey, Jeppy. Hey, Jeppy likes talking about syntax. He helped decide a lot of the syntax. So it's perfect that you're here because we're talking about function type syntax. What do you think? This was the suggestion. Just making something like this. But then that means when on a return type, it goes here. We could fix this by adding an arrow. I don't know if that really fixes it actually. So this looks a little bit funny. It looks like there's like two functions here. Fun that and fun this. Yeah, I feel like this kind of matters. I feel like, yeah, I write functions that return functions kind of a lot. You think it's fine, Joppy? I mean, maybe it is fine. Decorators aren't real. That's one thing I don't like about Go is the method syntax. I've never seen the method syntax for Go. I don't really know any Go. Should we just say this is fine? We can always change it later. You could literally just do colon instead of that. You mean like TypeScript? Like that? Yeah, we're already using colon for a lot of things though. We're really only using colon for one thing actually. for the function type too. Then that looks really kind of trippy, like there and there. Yeah, first order functions are useful for sure. I feel like, okay, let's just say this is fine. I don't think it's that bad. Maybe the formatter will do something like, I don't know, special. Like that. Probably not that. I don't know what. All other types are annotated using colon? Wait, what do you mean by like that? You mean like this? That is true. Maybe that does make more sense. What do you guys think? Colon or no colon? Well, fields are actually attributes for one, and this is not exactly the same colon as like this here. This is like the same colon as this would be here. I'm not sure if you were part of that discussion on the Discord, but it's a little bit different. Because then later on, when you instantiate a foo, you go foo, and then you get, and then you can actually set that thing, you know, like this. So it's the same as doing this in 2 steps. I don't know. You prefer the arrow? Yeah, we could solve this whole thing by doing an arrow. We could either with or without the fun keyword. Just like this, you mean? Then we'd have that. The arrow is a pain to type. It's not that bad. So like structures in every other language? Wait, what do you mean by that? I see. Use a nice arrow. I kind of like the arrows. Arrows are kind of nice. Yeah, I think arrows are fun to type. What do you guys think arrows are bad? With the keyword? You guys want the keyword? You want fun? That to that? Like that? Is this what we want? How do you guys feel about this? This is just a little bit maybe verbose. Everything you said about types and attributes are identical to structs and fields in Rust, C, C++, etc. No, it's actually kind of different. There's like a long discussion. This is technically an enum with one variant and an attribute. And I can define it right here. And if I instantiate it, right, so say like this is actually something different, like num, which is an int. Right? If I define it right here, then this is fine. This is like, and then num is mutable on this. Oops, I'd have to say like foo, or like that. Now num is mutable, but I could also do it like this, num colon. Ask Jappy, he knows all about it. So now this is like a foo with an immutable num. This is a foo with a mutable num, and it basically echoes this syntax here. Because I can do that, like foo int, and then foo 7. It's exactly like mimicking that from here to here. Does that kind of make sense? So it's a little bit different. But anyway, we're not talking about that. We're talking about function return types. You guys really would rather have, well, okay, let's just do some polls, okay? Couple polls. Start a poll. What is better? Fun params. All right, we got a poll. I see you finally switched to Neovan fully, no more VS Code. Awesome, congratulations. Welcome to the cult. That's great. I'd love to see your setup. Joppy's still making that switch. Those of you who hit the something else specify need to specify, okay? You're not allowed to hit it unless you're going to specify. Empathy is on Helix, oh dear. I definitely have my eye on Helix, but I'm not really close to ready to think about switching yet. Jappy's also on Helix as of now. I downloaded Helix like last week or something and was poking around for a little bit. Robin's also on Neovan, cool. Yeah, it doesn't have a plugin system. That was like the biggie. It's like, I'm not gonna be able to do any of my cool things. So most people like the most verbose way, which is this. Fun, params, arrow, return. Is Elage actually better than TMX? I like it a little better. I feel like it's easier and nicer looking and more configurable. You sent your setup on Discord? Where? Oh, wow, there's a bunch of stuff on. That looks nice. That looks very nice. Clean. The theme is good. I agree. And your Lua line looks super nice. Well done. Is that toggle term? Yeah, I don't really need toggle term because I have Zelage, and I can just do that. So, but it is cool. Oh, Robin, there's a new Rust release? No way. Okay. So, okay, do you guys want to go with this? We're going to go fun, params and parens, arrow, and then return type. Are we happy with that? Or not the arrow? We could do it without the arrow. 31% of you are saying no arrow. Leaving off the arrow causes it to look like this. Yeah, that's kind of nice too. It's maybe not quite as readable for me, but it is more terse. I feel like this kind of is a little more expressive, don't you think? Yeah, it's more confusing to me too without the arrows. I think the arrows are good. Well, the only thing I'm concerned about is like this fun here. Like I feel like we could do without that fun. Don't you guys? Or not? You feel like we need that fun? With or without the fun? Are we gonna do a new poll? New poll. Which one? Fun. Maple mono. What is Maple Mono? Is it good? Whoa, it's very smooth. 16,000 stars. Whoa. That looks amazing. Does it have it does have ligatures. Why did nobody tell me about this? That looks super good. All right, people, we're switching to Maple Mono. Oh my goodness, look at this dollar sign. And the, oh, that's so good. Is this the italic? Is the cursive-y? Berkeley Mono with route. What's that? Berkeley Mono font. This one? It's not quite as compelling as this one. This one looks really nice. Can I switch right now? Would you guys be upset if I switched right now? Midstream. Midstream. And then we wouldn't be using a Microsoft product. I see you're converting me. We're gonna switch it. All right, ready? Oh wait, this isn't even a new event thing. This is like my terminal settings. How do I even do that? So I just need to download it, no? Download. Wait, does it come with nerd font patched or not? Do I need to find a patched version? Nerd. First class nerd font support. Sweet. Okay, so it already has it. Homebrew. Oh, I can brew install. Check it out. Choink. Wait, what's the difference here? NF, CN. NF is like that wrapper. Hey, do you know what these are? Which of these do I need? Is this one good? Do people actually use Homebrew on Linux? No idea. I'll just try the basic one. If it doesn't work, we'll try the others. All right, ready? Brew, install, Maple Mono. First one should be fine. That's what you did. Okay. Now, do I have it? And what's it called? So if I go to my file, oh dear. Files. That'd be and ghosty. Config, ghosty, config. Okay. Font family. So I'm using this Monospice. Oh yeah, that's when they added nerd fonts too. What's it called? Like, what do I? Did that go in my ICS to leave? All right. See ya. Font book. Don't fonts go in here. Maple Mono. Sure enough. Has regular. Oh, it came with all these. Cool. And it's just called Maple Space Mono. Maple Space Mono, right? Is that what I said? Maple Mono. Oops. I'm not gonna have the icons. It said it came with the nerd patch. See? Or that's not all of them. What? Wait, did you see this? It has these built in. What is this horrible zooming feature? It has these things built in. That is slick. Just found the stream. How far have you progressed with the language? I'm taking a slight detour to switch my terminal font. Oh, that's what NF stands for. Nerd font. Oh, gotcha. Okay, so brew, uninstall maple. What was it? Maple mono. And then what's the CN? I kind of want the CN. If NF was so good, maybe CN will be even better. It was font maple mono. Okay. Font maple mono. Get rid of that. Okay, and then do this one. Joink. Oops, not that. This. But Leo, you asked how far we've progressed. We're in the middle of kind of type checking right now, specifically in the middle of type checking function expressions. Successfully installed. Cool. So now if I go to my font book, is it in here? All fonts. Joink. Font book. CN has something to do with Chinese. Oh, I didn't really need that then, but it's okay. Search for, what is it, maple? Maple. So now it's called maple mono space NF space CN. And then isn't there like a way to like reload configuration? Command Shift comma. Oh yeah. Check it out. We just totally changed fonts. Look at my cute little cursive. Oh wait. Help, I want ligatures. Oh wait, there's that ligature. It showed in the whoa, these are cute. It showed in the this thing like the two L's and the null like going together. How do I get that? Is there some way I turn on all the ligatures? Oh, font feature. That's how I did it for the other one. Oh yeah, CN did have to do the Chinese. Okay. Feature configurations. Ligature, default version with ligatures. Normal ligature. By default, it comes with ligatures. I just kind of wanted my two L's to go together like that, but it's okay. I guess we'll be fine. I feel like I made everything slightly bigger though. So if I go to like a real project now, how do things look? I really wanted these L's to go together. Wow, it's really nice looking. Should we just go like full IC style? You hate the eyes? That? Or is that an L? Oh, the loop? It's only if they're cursive. See? I feel like this looks really nice, in my opinion. Yeah, the lowercase L's, like the cursive ones. I kind of like them. I think they're kind of cute. What? Let me look at his theme. He had the Kanagawa. Yeah, I like my theme. My theme's good. All right. Yeah, the terminal just got a lot more lovely. Man, it looks so nice. All right. Well, anyway, we needed to parse those things. I feel like it's almost 4 o'clock though. How long have I been going? 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's a pretty long time. I think I might stop the stream here. And yeah, I'm gonna stop it here, and we'll pick up from this point last time. I'm just gonna edit this. We have this next up thing, right? So I'm gonna say parse function type, right? And then work them into, and then finish working them into the type checker. Cool. All right, thanks everybody. Are you planning on implementing const expr? What is const expr? Never thought I'd change fonts from a random stream. Hey, you did it too? How many people did it? It's so good. I can't even believe how nice it looks. Like all of these characters just look really nice. It's from C++, okay. Oh, compile time execution. Oh, is that like zig comp time? Constant expression. Is it similar to zig comp time? All right, well, yeah, let's stop it there. Thanks everybody. Gonna stream again tomorrow probably, so I'll let you know times and stuff on the Discord. And yeah, until next time. A C++ const expr is something that can be executed at compile time and at runtime. Okay, so whereas a zig comp time, oh, const evals for compile time only. That's more like zig comp time. All right, well anyway, until next time. See ya, everybody.